Marvelous, darling. Have we been going? It started? Did it start? It's been being weird. I need to make sure this is actually working and functioning. But you're in Bryan's world. And as we open the show with a quality check to make sure this thing is coming through so I don't talk into here and waste my time or your time. Did it start? It's been being weird. I need to make sure this is actually working. Well, it sounds like it's working, y'all. Ryan's world. And as we open the show. Well, let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about George Bush. Shout out George Bush. W. W. Let me tell you about W. Let me tell you a little story about W. We're kicking it on the park bench. And we're looking up. And he says, you see that right there? The World Trade Center? One of these days, I'm going to help orchestrate a false flag terrorist event to permanently traumatize the minds of Americans by simply saying the word terrorism. 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 The terrorist. And that right there, fear-based, trauma-based mind control. And George Bush, he told me that they had to do it though. He looked at me, he said, Bryan, people are sheep. Now this was just a dream. I was astral projecting into a quantum universe. But so this really did happen. Anything that happens in your dreams is real life. Once you start really believing that, dude, you got to start believing that. Start believing that your dreams are just quantum existences in other universes that you can mimic and create in the real world. It happens. So anyways, I'm on this I'm in this astral projection dream in Central Park on a park bench with George Bush. And he said the sheep need to be corralled. That you can't try to free the minds of the sheep. Because a mass awakening would be mass hysteria. That's what part of awakening is. You have a good 3 years of hysteria. Once you start uncovering the matrix. Once your journey begins and you start to find out that things really aren't what they seem. And this dimension is a like biological toy for the higher powers and higher spirits and higher dimensions. We're kind of like a battleground, a pit, a existence, a realm. And yeah, I don't know. I used to be one of these people that was like, we gotta wake everybody, we gotta show everybody, but it's just almost like you're tripping on mushrooms. You're trying to, you're tripping on some shramis and you're trying to get people to understand the deep spiritual inflections that you're experiencing, but they're not on the mushies and they're not going to understand. And there are a lot of online communities where conspiracies and the truth and the news is kind of unraveled and uncovered. 444. Just saw 444. We've been live for that long. But there's also traps and pitfalls And I spent a lot of time uncovering traps and pitfalls and breaking down the madness in the news. And I broke it down so many freaking times through 3 years that it got to a point. Really, I've been a conspiracy guy for a long, long time. It just got to a point where I noticed the trend. And that just because you know the truth doesn't mean that you have some sort of responsibility or calling to wake up the minds of the sheep. Because at a certain point, you have to be a sheep. There's no room. The wolf is cringe. You don't want to just be the wolf. You got to be the wolf in sheep's clothing. But not like that. Not in a bad way. But yes, I get deeper and deeper into raising my level of consciousness. And perhaps you don't receive the things that you desired in the perfect original boxing you daydream and fantasize about. But if you pay attention and look around, a lot of times you get delivered gifts of magic and enjoyment. And that's what's important for 2026. My name is Bryan, and you're in my world. This is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts for my official library. Links on my page, on the bio. Don't have time to put them in the description. But really, I just podcast to express my multiple personality disorder. Try my best to have a crazy, wild, interesting life and turn it into a production. Work hard, have fun, go with the flow. Life is about the journey, not the destination. I'm unfiltered, uncensored, unhinged, and keep it outside the box. I have learned from my past mistakes, and I am full of spiritual wisdom and out-of-pocket comments. Yeah, I want to start off by warning people. I mean, is it already too late? Should we have done a talk on New Year's resolutions? Because there's this whole mindset even today on January 2nd or January 3rd or even into February. Well, it's never too late to make your New Year's resolution. Or if you haven't got cracking on it yet, it's never too late to get going on what you wanted to do. But that shite is lame. It's really lame. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be the kind of person that makes New Year's resolutions, okay? You should be generally broken free from the concept of time within itself anyways. So that if time is moving forward into a new year and a number on the calendar goes from 2025 to 2026, it shouldn't really affect any kind of way you shape or live your life. Perhaps New Year's can give people a time of reflection and epiphany. But for whatever reason, people do not execute on those epiphanies. Those epiphanies are good. They're what your soul perhaps maybe wants. But we don't focus or execute. And we get lost in the shuffle, lost in the sauce. And a lot of times it's social media scrolling, watching TV, video games. One of those couple of things that you get sucked into. And intention, reason, logic. If you want to make a New Year's resolution, it should be rather logical. But my point here is this epiphany, the New Year's resolution. Again, for most people, happens once a year. Leading into January 1st, leading into New Year's, people might think about their New Year's resolutions this year. What am I going to do that I'm never actually going to execute about? You will never win with that mindset. You will lose. I have been there, done that. That mindset has to carry on January 1st. That mindset has to carry on January 2nd. You should New Year's resolutions every single day. Every single day. There should be, and if you have New Year's resolutions, a lot of people, man, it's a talking point to make them look a certain way. Can't have that. If you want to be a king of Babylon, if you want to be happy in your glow, you can't have that. You got to have consistency. You got to have willingness. You got to have humaga, courage, bravery, guile, wisdom, detachment, in the moment. And then what? January 3rd. I'm New Year's resolution. And then you get rid of that New Year's resolution. What's my February 29th resolution? What's my March 5th resolution? April 7th resolution. And resolutions should be everywhere. Those are inches, man. Dude. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff to set your intentions and clear your mind and refresh and relax and angle yourself and have that desire to have a New Year's resolution to move yourself forward in some way. But goddamn, if you want change, it is, you don't want to have the term New Year's resolution. You just want to have resolution. You just have to be a quarterback under center. My motivational stuff is matrix breaking. Understand. I'm not going to be the one, well, okay, you'll get him next time. This is war. Perhaps in war you lose battles. But we cannot shrug off the L's without going to film room. We cannot have this sarcastic attitude as a society towards our wrongdoings. Excuses. Are like rear ends. Everyone's got one, and some of them are sexier than others. Now, excuses are tough. Now, I have some excuses. Mental health disorders. I have GBD, generalized donkey brains. They had to make something new for me. Why isn't he afraid? Why isn't he scared? Why is he like this? This is nothing that we've seen before. But no, you gotta look at change like mining. Like anything you do, whether it's fitness goals, business goals, mental growth, reading, you gotta be willing to just sometimes swing the pickaxe. You might not get anywhere that day, but at least you swing the damn pickaxe. You gotta be willing to ride that mine shaft all the way down to the bottom of the thing. This might exhaust you. Especially fitness. Most people's New Year's resolutions are to lose weight. Fitness is hard and it hurts. So you gotta be into pain. You now have to get into BDSM stuff just to achieve your goals. And yeah, I could make a whole podcast episode of how to do that. It's the same shit. I was never a distance runner. One day I ran a mile. No, I tried to run a mile. I only ran a half mile. Like, it sucks. I was in college. I was always a weightlifter, football guy, but you wouldn't be in heavy cardio shape in the off season, really. I wasn't really into running. Maybe some cardio here and there. Enough. But I really wanted to start running. First day I ran half a mile. I was like, that was lame. The next day I ran a half a mile. Again, I said that was lame. On the third day he rose again. He said, that was cool. Let's do a full mile. And then I started doing a mile every day for some months. And after that, it's like, well, a lot of those in there. There were some days I was tired and just got that mile, but there's a lot of days we didn't even count and just hauled ass. Who even knows how long I ran some of those runs? I didn't care. I just gassed everything I had. Ran as many laps on that track. It was a cool track, dude. I wish I could go back. Nah, not really. I like this life more than my college life, honestly. I get more girls, I have more fun. I'm more mentally clear and healthy. I don't know what to tell you. I got more money. I'm smarter. I'm put together. It doesn't matter how much fun or freedom I had in college or time to play video games and fuck off. That's not good. That wasn't good. I dreamed of some kind of rigorous schedule where I was not only working for the man but also doing something for myself. That's where we're at. And I tell you what, my life, we're what? It's 9:16 p.m. here, January 2nd of 2026. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've already had within the first 2 days. It happened today. Not I like pitches. I like when people throw me my pitches. And motherfuckers hit me. They threw a pitch inside and they hit me in the face and they said, fuck off. Now, this was something that I wasn't banking on. Something that gave me a sniff of dishonesty, perhaps lacks of loyalty. somewhat of an illusion, somewhat of a jump to conclusion without being able to actually commit. Nothing wrong doing. Really, this situation was like some situations. I can connive myself into things that don't really even exist. Well, that never really happens. Oh, well, Bryan does it. Never really seen that before. That's the guy. At least who I have become. Now, I've had plenty of runs at it in my past, but truly now I am the solutions man. So what happens? Okay? I'm speaking of my temp position. Uh-oh. A little bit of I'll be needed, I guess, but not for like a week or I don't know, and it's but you still have a good relationship with the temp agency. They can find you a new job. You know, these are ghetto white boy struggles. Now, with that said, I'm quite capable. I'd have to, probably cut my hair. Now I gotta get a haircut. Oh, lame. Totally lame. Not cool. I should just go bald. I don't want to get a haircut, but we'll see. So, anyways, yeah, it's but are we back on here? So, anyways, yeah, it's but situations I can connive myself into things that don't really even exist. So yeah, I've been rolling with this temp job. It's been enough money, good location, everything kind of working out perfect. But I just didn't. You have can see writings on the wall sometimes. Uh, and yeah, sometimes you look around in there and in that entire building, you're probably the one throwing the most at it. Just it's just the truth. I'd probably be the one dealing with the most personally, physically, and then also performance wise. Um, there really isn't anything in the building that exists that would slow me down or confuse me. Just show me how to do it, train me it. I'll do it. But you know what I'm saying? Once you have a certain amount of job experience and a certain amount of job, there's certain warehouse places where it's like, yeah, at a certain point, I'm going to be more valuable to be your new accountant and teach me that because. But yeah, it concerns me that I'm being trained. You guys, this is not a. I'm not mad. I'm grateful for the time and getting my finances together, but I'm getting trained by this person who with the third day of training starts overtraining and micromanaging all this stuff. This dude's back, you know what I'm saying? He's an older guy, like I don't know if he really answered some of my questions that like clearly or distinctively. You know what? I'm not trying to be mean here to anybody. I'm just saying I was maybe witnessing two positions that based on the time and input. Now maybe things were going slow, but I don't know. Could it have been most days done with one person? I guess that's why I wasn't needed. Because I'm thinking like I'm gonna make this work too easy because I'm gonna be too. I am pretty meticulous though with certain things, but yeah, it's just I felt overtrained at it already. Like does this guy think I don't get it just because I make weird movements sometimes? I'm a little neurodivergent. So sometimes like I'll do something weird that looks like I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know if this dude had said something like he's not catching on to like some easy ass shit that was just like, please stop telling me what to do on every little thing so that my brain can actually like learn and memorize this shit, because at this point it's like this is very easy things, I just need the reps kind of on my own. And just kind of like being told one thing on another day and the next thing a week later, it's just, and like you blink and the vibe is different. And there's no like formal sit down and what exactly is going on. And like, yeah, you know, you start, listen, you guys, whenever anything like this happens to anybody, I'm not, it's not bullshit or anything. Temp jobs don't exist and they're kind of bullshit usually. Also, like, yeah, I'm a sales business vibe a lot of the time. Like, I don't know, hot shot. People are feel threatened by that sometimes. Like, it is what it is. I learn quick. But no, it's getting to a point where, like, yeah, my energy and power is not being used here. It's not being used. I'm capable of more. Um. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I was told I was being trained to actually work there. It seemed like in the forklift stuff, and then I don't know, man. I think people got a lot going on with their family and home life a lot of times in their own personal life. I think people fucking forget. And if you're just a temp worker, you're not on their fucking top of mind. I think they forget, bro. I think people forget. Oh, we were training him on forklift. I forgot. We're gonna do that. Oh, call him up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to get called up on the fucking Monday, show up Tuesday, because the one dude wasn't there. No, when the male boss isn't there, and then it gets trickled down. No offense, but that's when shit has always gotten weird. And it's like, am I working here or not? So yeah, it's a little disappointing that, you know, I was told at a certain time to show up Monday, and now that's just, you know, I can't. It's working fine. It's just wishy washy, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think people like me and shit, but I just don't think there's an actual place for me. But you know, this nonchalant guy can turn into like the Joker pretty quick. And not that I do anything spiteful, revengeful, but like, it's not process my feelings and get mad or detach from it all. It's like, oh, 2026, brother. You gonna pop in on January 2nd with some bullshit already? Do you know what happened to 2025? By the end of the year, 2025 was my bitch. No matter what it showed me in physical reality, I found a way to somewhat enjoy my time for the most part. And whenever my mind swayed and had issues, I learned how to get better. So do you want to play with me 2026? Do you want to do this shit? Because it's just not going to end well for you. I will become president if you make me that pissed. I'll become president. I can do that, you know? No, I don't, you know, I can be a good vice president. I'll be like the rock star vice president. Yeah, keep on rocking in the free world. I'm the first president to use the military to freaking wipe out Wall Street. Ugh, in Silicon Valley. Ugh. A lot of problems will be solved if you just sanction those. Just sanction and disperse the wealth to a more better system. Jesus fucking Christ. Quora Digest sends me emails. And some of them are a little bit sketchy. A little bit pedo-ish. Oh, that's fucked up. Like, it'll be a submission from like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl, something a little bit adult, like Dennis Manning is the Quora guy. Because I have to turn on this. I got it. Let's turn that off. This has polluted my mind too many times. I have this Gmail account that gets dumb spam, but I have to keep it on because that's how I communicate with the mother of my child. My baby mom. Got baby mamas, got no drama. Yeah. The girl says she like me because I go to farm boy with the llama. Yeah. Knock the pussy out, Alex Piera with the chama. And I never got the Karana. She ain't get the vax, but she should have got the herpes vax. Yep. I say get it before you stick it. Get it before you stick it. Get that shot, bitch. Yeah, so anyways, let me go pee. Be right back. Done. Let's listen to some. Let's pretend to listen to some tunes while I go tinkle. But yeah, the good news is, still talking in Bryan's world, in my journey. The good news here, you guys, my temp guy has got my back. It seems like this place is going to need me again. So I'm going to have work, it seems like, no matter what. But it is going to give me a little bit of time here for the next few days to get my shit popping on Indeed job search, which you could fumble into something pretty quick. Get 8 to 4. Allowed to use your Bluetooth, warehouse type shit. I could figure it out. But for this job search, I'm not going to be as stressed out because I got my finances together a little bit. And I still have one more paycheck coming in. It's a small one, but at this point, yeah, moved the needle. There is, you have intrusive thoughts those these with these things. For example, it's like, well, if they would have, if you look down the stretch in the amount of hours, potentially the temp job having a different position that had have more hours to fill, or other opportunities that I shielded myself from because it seemed like I was going to get more time at this one. You start thinking of like, well, this energy, I could have whipped it out earlier to chisel down and flip the skillet and figure something out. Perhaps my money would have been even better. But you don't want to think like that. You don't want to think, because that's just going to lead you to get mad at somebody. Um, and in this situation, it's not too bad. I'd say they're lucky that I just had two real shit fests in terms of employers. So I can really, anybody that has paid me for working and giving me close to 40 hours for at least a decent amount of weeks, yeah, I can't really get mad at that at this point. So it's just another trap and pitfall of reality around you. And I spent a lot of time appreciating it in the moment and knowing that there would be a time potentially that we'd have to get two, maybe three ladders in flex and figure something else out. But it's tough because I really liked the consistency. I liked the location and I was getting some consistency in terms of working in extra stuff and certain days this, certain days that. That was nice to have that consistency. So for that to be shuffled, will require bravery and good decisions and energy. But yeah, I'm pretty disciplined. It's hard to be disciplined on certain things like food and working out, staying fit. I found that keeping good on those things really gives me power out and about. But yeah, this is all, the dream life is all, it's not scripted, but you have to keep the script moving in the dream world. You can't think that just because one outcome doesn't go positive, well, anything that goes wrong is a harbor for change and space for something new that could potentially be better. What I found is, yeah, a lot of times you do end up in a better situation. But yeah, it definitely gets, you went from the temp that made it with from the group of temps to just an odd man out. Feeling like you were getting trained, part of the team in the meetings, and then just like, hey. There was one young buck there. This dude was real cool. He had some young man energy, Humaga energy that was relatable. Perhaps an opportunity for a friend. There's a beautiful girl there that definitely did not talk to me. Again, seemed nice, so just being nice. I'm nice to pretty girls, just, you know. But it was a kind of a it's a one of those things. We just kind of, it gets my humaga going. I don't get nervous in those situations. It gets my humaga going, even if nothing's ever gonna happen. There's just something around a pretty girl being around that gets my humaga going. So it's something that was good, you guys. We have these things that we find that are super healthy, and then they kind of end. And then I think a lot of people lose momentum and say, "Oh, I miss the old days," but really, how easy it is to kind of click back. I mean, I was saying this before. I wish everyone else knew how easy it was to go back and feel the same way you did in the past just by doing the same things by yourself, but in tribute and in spirit to the people you did it with in the past. You have to become the the doer. But any kind of opportunity in the workplace offers the potential for friendship. Workplace romance exists. You meet someone at work. Where else are you gonna meet someone? Sometimes what the fuck? Somebody, the right person rolls in. There you go. Some Jim and Pam type shit. I personally would rather maybe like swallow a bag of bricks than date a coworker. It would just feel weird. But I'm also not really into the idea of romance right now. It seems icky to me. I have a lot of self romance and romance to the streets. You see this? I got engaged, buddy. You see, that's my left hand. I got engaged. Engaged to the streets. Engaged to the game. Engaged to the grind set. Engaged to the hustle. I'm getting married this year to the hustle, dog. It's my second marriage to these streets. I'm Mormon. I'm getting married to these streets. I'm getting married to this game. Getting married to the grind set. Getting married to the real world Andrew Tate. Getting married to manifestation. But yeah, you get tired of things all being a constant work this out, work that out. But like I always say, that shit don't go away. It's always gonna slip in there and get you. Um, yeah, we shall pause. I shall take a dab. Hold on a second here.
nigga, get your cup. I wanna get drunk. Let's pull this shit up, man. Let's get drunk. Drunk, yeah. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm playing drinking makers, mocker, cranberry vodka, makers, mocker, cranberry. I'm playing drinking makers, mocker, cranberry vodka, makers, mocker, cranberry vodka. Give me a cup, some ice, some vodka, and let's go. Give me some dro, let me put down the crown and coke. I'm slummed out, drunk as fuck, and I know you won't make it home if you ride with me, bro. Cause I've been drinking since 2, started smoking around noon. With no sleep, I'm feeling similar to a cartoon. Animated, but gonna manage to make it through the day. Being a rapper's close to being an alcoholic that gets paid. I done seen a higher ground, now that I'm on a different plane. If you step to me wrong, I'ma have to show you I'm the man. I'm Lil White, the motherfucking drunken cracker, sipping the blue top. As long as I'm here, I'll rip it, so long as you never let the blue stop. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm getting fucked up, man. I'm getting fucked up. I'm playing drinking makers, mocker, cranberry vodka, makers, mocker, cranberry. I'm playing drinking makers, mocker, cranberry vodka, makers, mocker, cranberry vodka. Well, I'm fucked up. By now you should see makers, mocker, and some vodka floating all through me. On the way to the liquor store to get another bottle, running red lights, never taking my foot up off the bottle. I'm a little tipsy, cockeyed in the whole 940 proof or better, and I really don't fuck with wine. I'm a whiskey sipper, sour mash is not for some. I got motherfuckers that get drunk and fight for fun. Get about my way, you see my brains on a different level. Bring some tequila out and you're gonna see me turn into the devil. I'm the one and only Lil White, I do it my way. Bitch ain't down with getting fucked up with me, then hit the house.
Alright, let's give this thing a little. Is this thing alright here? We coming in? Can we get a little status update? This is Houston to base. We have a problem. Is this shit working? Walmart internet out here, you guys. Is this thing alright here? We coming in? It seems to be working fine. Looks perfectly fine. They're lying. Oh. So yeah, sometimes you're skipping to your loo. You just want to keep skipping to your loo. And you're getting all these things put together and you're like, damn, if things could just continue to be like this, I'm really going to have things put together real soon here. Like, I'm finally putting it all together. And now it's like, ugh, it could get a little sweaty again. And in Bryan's world, these are the things that I am challenged with. And it's my job to be challenged with. It's my job to persevere and then explain what happened and how I made it through. And it's pretty much as simple as it is sometimes, I had some weird synchronicities working at that job. There were some packing slips that I was printing out one day. I noticed one was on the same street, and it was really across the street from a Pizza Hut I worked at during one of my summers off back in college days. So it was pretty wild that bank happened to be one of the customers. And I happened to see that address and that street and know exactly where that shit was. And also down the street, I grew up when I was born to when I was like 5 years old, where I lived. The first 4 years of my life. Literally off that street, like a couple baseball throws away. So I continue to find the synchronicities and see the reminders in the matrix that the spirits leave for us that things are perhaps working in the right direction. And even though it might not seem like it right now in the moment, it is all part of the plan for what you are striving for. That's why I don't spend time casual dating. I'd rather conquer my dreams, become a superstar, and have like some baddie groupies in Spain. I want groupies from Spain. Spanish girls. Not Mexicans. Spain. Actually, they seem kind of corny. Fuck them. Do they have Spanish, white or black ghetto girls? Do they have a selection of ghetto women, ranging from honky white to light skin to dark skin? I like my ghetto girls of all shapes and sizes. They're not about that life. They don't listen to Chief Keef. They don't listen to Gucci Mane and Waka Flocka Flame like I do. They listen to Spanish. Senorita. They listen to fucking Jennifer Lopez. Yeah, you get the new Jennifer Lopez album. The Shadow People and the Hat Man. You ever see the Shadow People and the Hat Man? I've never seen the Hat Man, but they say there's a Hat Man. There's like you can see him. Oh, it's the Hat Man. Get him. He's gonna get you. Ooh, the Hat Man. Boo. Oh, I've been doing too much drugs. Talking about Shadow People and the Hat Man. Seroquel. Cocaine Seroquel. I'll freaking bust a line out. I like that now. Yeah, the whole poop boxes and the you know that, what's it, Colgate or something? Colon guard. It's you thing for your colon or something when you have colon issues, and you get these boxes mailed to your house, and they're mailed to you to prepare to take a poo poo in, and they're branded. The boxes are branded. They say Cologuard. They have the logo. They're white and blue. It's very obvious. This box. I used to work in a UPS store, okay? And somebody told me, hey, all these boxes, they're next day air. There's shit in them. There's poop in that box. They're literally walking into the fucking UPS store with the poop box. I'm like, why did you tell me it was poop? How am I not gonna almost lose it? You'll have some old person walking into the thing like, here we are in 2025. This is where we've gotten. People are waddling into the fucking UPS store like, take my shit. Next day air my shit box. Get it UPS next day air. It gets picked up, taken to the airport, and on a freaking airplane up in the sky. And the poop box gets to where it needs to be within a day because it flies on an airplane. The poop flies, and they have instant results. But yeah, it was just funny. It was very hard to. Whenever they'd be walking on the store, I'd finally just fucking lose it. I'm just like, oh my god, I was trying to, I had to hold it together that whole time. Throughout the entire, all you'd have to do is scan in the package and be like, oh, you're on your way. Here's your fucking slip. Here's your receipt. Oh man, though. Oh. Heaven forbid I was geeking a little bit and like, it'd be so hard not to laugh. And then there's this girl who was thick as a biscuit. You know, I'm gonna have a problem. No, it's not like that, but I just... Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have some humaga, and she's gonna think I'm like weird or cool or funny, but in a good way. And it's gonna go well. Sorry. So I'm sorry. I'm not Gil Ambrose anymore. Bryan pulls hose. I used to be a different person, but I manifested the hot shot version of myself. He came to save me in his chariot of gold and platinum and diamond. And that's what you want to do. You want to pick yourself up in a chariot and say, come with me. You want to look yourself in the mirror and say, sir, come with me. I will show you. I'll show you my child. I never know what's going on. For better or worse, be legendary. Whatever your version of legendary is, let it loose. I used to be afraid of monsters until I realized I was one. Normal doesn't exist in my world. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, that's all I have for today's show on here. I'm glad I was able to come let the goose loose. I wish I had more beaming, everlasting energy at this time, but things be hard and there's a lot of reloading and relaxing and repowering that's going on. And I'll be ready to eat some ass and smoke some grass. Until then, we'll catch you next time. As always, keep it fucking real. Peace.